So you're probably here because you want your Roblox Studios to look majestic. Don't worry, you clicked on the right video because I won't waste your time. And I'll be telling you everything you need to know, from the sky to the lighting to the base itself. It helps if you have an idea or reference image of what you want to make before you start. Once you have that, we can start with the baseplate itself. Most people think you're stuck with what you get, but you can actually change this, and I'll be going over the basics. Your Roblox Studios is probably going to look something like this. But before we do anything though, let's change the editor quality level. So go to File, Studio Settings, Rendering, and change the editor quality level to 21. It's going to be set to automatic for you, but just change that to 21 and you're probably going to see a huge difference in the quality of your Roblox Studios. If 21 is too laggy for you, you could turn it down to whichever number looks nice but doesn't lag your PC. Another thing before we change this plain and boring baseplate is we're gonna make sure that our Explorer and Properties page are open. So you want to go ahead and go to View and make sure these are checked. If they're not checked, you're not going to be able to see them. So make sure they're both checked. Once you can see your Explorer, go ahead and expand Workspace. We're going to see a few things like terrain, spawn location, and baseplate. We're going to focus on baseplate though for now. So click on that. You can change the color, reflectance, transparency. I like to keep my reflectance at 0.05 because I just kind of like how my base reflects a little bit. But if you don't like that, you can turn it off. Transparency, you can change how transparent your base is. I usually have that at 0 because I don't want my base to be transparent. You can change the color of the base. You can make it black if you want to, or you could go here and change the color here, but I'll just keep it like that. You could go ahead and expand the base plate, and look, here we have texture, because I know that's what most of y'all came here for. So go ahead and copy and paste your texture ID. Mine, I'm gonna have it on the screen here or in the description, so if you want to copy and paste that, you can also do that. For texture, you can also change it as well. You can change the transparency, make it more visible, and you can change the color. I'm gonna have mine at white. So your base already looks decent already. I changed the colors, and that just shows that you don't have to copy exactly what I'm doing. Like, you can make this look anyhow you want. It really depends on you. So we're not gonna stop here though. I'm gonna go ahead and move this up a little bit because we're going to change the spawn location as well, but this is optional. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. And just one thing, for decal, you can also change the transparency. So if you want this to like not show at all, you could do that. But I think what I'm going to do is just delete the decal altogether, and I'm going to go to scale. Make sure you're on the model tab. Make sure your move stud is 0.1. Select it and just scale it and make it small. Then go ahead and make it kind of flat like that. So yours should look something like this. Select this, go to part, get a block, and go ahead and scale that too. Now once you have that, go ahead and make it flat like the other one. And for this, just go on select and just kind of position it right there or so. If you want to scale this back, just do that, and we should have something like this. If you like it like this, you can keep it like this, but I'm gonna select the bottom one. So deselect, select the bottom one, and change the color to like black or something. And this already looks good already. You can also make this white at the top like that. So this is what we have right now. The lighting tab is where everything comes to life. Once you expand it, you're gonna have a bunch of different things like atmosphere, sky, bloom, all this other stuff. But I'm gonna explain what every single one of these do. But for now, I'm gonna delete it. I recommend you don't delete it though. So you could keep that. If you accidentally deleted that, you can just Control Z. But if you do want to delete it, hey, be my guest. But go to the lighting, right? Ambient basically changes the color of everything in the shadows. So you see how when I drag it down, the shadows got darker. I usually just keep it at its regular color. Brightness changes the brightness of everything except for the shadow. See how the shadow did not change at all? I usually just turn the brightness up a little bit just to have that glow on my base plate. But you can also turn that down if you don't like that. I just keep it like so. Color shift top adds a very slight glow to your map, so you could go ahead and change the color to like like that. You see that very slight glow. This can really make your map look realistic. These two skills depend on the color of your sky. So my sky is kind of like bluish or like yellowish kind of, because the sun as well. So if you turn this down, you can see how much your sky affects the lighting on your base plate. Outdoor ambient changes the outdoors of your map, but doesn't change the shadow much, as you can see here. Go ahead and get closer to the shadow. Shadow softness is basically how soft your shadows are. So if you turn this down, your shadows are kind of more, I guess, less quality. And if you turn it up, the middle is when it gets crisp, and then when you turn it up, it looks a little bit more cartoonish. So a lot of like cartoonish games use this to make their game look less as realistic. I like to keep mine at 0.25 though, because I think that's where it looks really good. So for the technology, right, shadow map, just the basic lighting everybody uses. Future is shadow map, but a better version, right? Voxel, it just blends everything in basically. So if you want like a very cartoonish looking map, you could just have it like that, but I usually just keep mine at future or shadow map. I'll keep it at shadow map though. Clock time is basically just the time of day it is on your map. You can script this and make it go from day to night however you want. Also changes the shadows that you can see. Geographic latitude is just time zones basically. You see how the shadow goes from the y-axis to like the x-axis. I think this goes from left to right, and this one goes from top down. You can see that, but I wouldn't recommend doing all this scrolling and dragging. Just get a moon and sun dragger and just drag it however you like, because I don't like having to do all that. It also gives you better control over it. See, you make the shadows really stretch out, or you can make it stand like that, but make sure you do uncheck this though. Exposure compensation is basically just the brightness of literally everything. So my bad if I just blinded you, I'm sorry bro. just don't blind yourself. Fog literally adds a fog to your map. You can also change the color, so you can go for like 100 or something. You see how my map got really foggy. If you do want a fog in your game, this is the best way to add a fog to your game. You can also change the color, so if I want it to be like pink fog, I can make that possible. If I want it to be red, but I like to keep the color spectrum down here, because I don't think anybody wants their fog to look like this. We could go ahead and start adding things to our map. You can also layer these, by the way. So let me go ahead and type a bloom effect. Now I could go ahead and add another bloom. Well, it wouldn't really do much, but for other things, like for example atmosphere, I don't know if you want to layer that, you can also do that. But bloom basically changes the bloom of objects on your map. So look, this already kind of has a bloom to it, but we're gonna go ahead and turn the intensity down, so you can see the bloom goes away, right? But if you turn it up, the bloom comes back. And you can also change the size of the bloom. So if you want it to spread out, you could do that, and you can change the threshold. So if you want it to like spread really far, then you could really like just turn the threshold all the way down. Some people like it like this. I don't like it. Doesn't really look good to me. But so you can turn that down, just turn it back down. Really depends on how you want this to be. Turn the intensity off, type in blur, and add the effect. The only way I could see someone using this like realistically is when they're making a GUI and they want it to like pop up or something like that. But other than that, I don't think you should be using blur on your map. It just makes everything look not good. I'm just gonna say that. Some people try to like turn it down a little bit and say, oh yeah, this looks pretty nice. It really doesn't, honestly. So I just turn it all the way off depth of field. So go ahead and type that and add that to your effects. As you can see, when I get far away from the tree, it gets kind of blurry, and when I get closer, I can see it clearly. That's basically what depth of field does. Near intensity, this you see this little blurry thing in the middle of my screen. Like, you just turn that down because I don't want it. I really don't want that. And focus distance is just how far away the depth of field is. So if I turn this up, I can see all the way. If something was over there, I can still see the tree. But if I turn this down, I can't really see the tree as well. I like to just keep this like at the middle, kind of. I'm gonna quickly disable depth of field and add sun rays. So go right there and add the effect. It basically it's just sun rays, and look, it also gets blocked by the tree, which is really nice. I like that a lot. Makes it look kind of realistic. If you want your map to look really realistic, you might want to add sun rays to that. But go on the sun rays, you can go ahead and change the intensity, so how bright you want the sun rays to affect your map. And the spread, you can change the spread. It's just like that. You can make it spread less. I like to just keep it down, so I could make the intensity low and make the spread high, like that. That looks good in my opinion. It's not too much. My atmosphere is not working, but you could go ahead and add that. Basically what it does is density shows how far away the atmosphere is from you, and offset is the angle of the atmosphere, so it's not right in your face. For density, if you turn this all the way up, you could probably see the atmosphere like very clearly. If you turn it down, you're not going to be able to see it as much. Well, glare, it works with the haze, right? So if you turn up haze and change the color right here, this is where you change the color of the haze. Keep that in mind, probably blue or something. If I turn the haze up, you're probably gonna see it very, very clearly. So basically what this is, right? Imagine you're looking at a city from far away. You know that little foggy looking thing at the top? Yeah, that's haze. So that's basically what that is. Glare adds like a glow to the haze. So if you can see your haze very clearly and you turn this up, it's gonna make your haze glow. And this is where you change the glare color. So this is where you change the color of the haze, and this is where you change the color of the glare. Just keep that in mind. People think cloud goes in lighting, but no, it actually doesn't. So don't make that mistake. It does not go there. Go up to terrain and type in cloud. This is where your clouds are gonna go. So you can see we already have our clouds up there. Select it, cover basically how much your clouds cover the sky. So imagine this is like a sunny day, and this is gonna be like a cloudy day basically. So you can turn that up if you want to. Density just changes the density of the cloud. So if I were to turn this up a little bit so you can see, and I were to turn the density down, you see how if it's kind of faded in and not as bright. And the clouds also affect the sun rays, by the way, so that's really good. So if you turn this up, cover it, yeah, you can't see the sun rays that much. But if you turn it down like that, I like to just keep it down and keep the density down as well. Right here you can also change the color of the clouds. So if you want it to be like red or pink or blue or whatever, you can also change that. Depends on what you're trying to go for. Honestly, you guys can make this look however you'd like. Like, it really just depends on you. So you can use these tips or everything I showed you in today's video to make your own baseplate. You can send them to me on Discord if you want me to look over them. And yeah, I mean, I'd say like the sky is the limit, but obviously the sky is not the limit in this case. Given just 5 minutes, I was able to make something like this, and this is just an example of something you can make. For the sky, I'd recommend you can make your own sky, or you can use a sky insert box. If you want this, I'll probably have it linked in the description as well. But this is just an example of what your base can look like if you just use everything I've said so far. Also change the color of the clouds a little bit. I'm probably gonna change this. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna change this back. If you want to talk to other people that work in the Roblox Studios like me, you can join my Discord server. You're gonna meet some amazing people there. But if you like the video, you can subscribe if you want to and leave a like. And yeah, bye bye. Love you.